here I am after my workout. Feel a lot of endorphins in myself. It's a beautiful day. 52 degrees out. Spooky day. Happy Halloween to YouTube if I end up posting this. To anybody, happy Halloween. Stay safe. Have fun. It's a blue moon. Halloween 2020. I kind of want to just talk on the camera a little bit. Maybe spread some ideas. A little bit of an update. Oh, since I haven't posted a video in a while, I'm actually in my car. I got a car in November. Yeah. It's 2012 Audi A6. Gray interior, as you guys can see. I like it. I like it. You know, grateful for it. For my family helping me, putting me in a position to have this, you know. Anyways, I had a few ideas, a few themes that I've been in my mind a lot lately. I guess I'll just try to think of them right now. So there's like 2 or 3 or 4 that I kind of, maybe I could talk about. The first one I think of is, I mentioned how I'm into psychology in the past. So it's just kind of an update on what I'm working on in that category in my mind when it comes to that. Business, updates, improvements, current of focus, attention. The election, voting ends November 3rd. It's October 31st. I guess I could just start with those 3. It's a lot to talk about. I'm working with, mentioned in the past in my videos, I work with my dad. You know, he's had a business for, how old was I when he first began it? I think I was like in 7th grade, 6th grade, maybe a little younger, 5th grade, 6th grade. Started a landscaping business. He's been a construction worker for like over 20 years, I think. So he works construction and he has his own business. So we're gotten to the point where I help him manage his business. He's still in construction and he's trying to balance those 2 things out for himself. I'm trying to balance, you know, learning from that, taking the opportunity to learn from that as much as I can, working with people, clients, you know, getting results, and at the same time I'm balancing that. That's my work. That's really what I dedicate most of my days to. And then I do want to keep going to school. I have other interests outside of school. I have, yeah, that's what we do. So right now I'm getting to the point where I want to focus more on selling. I think I've gotten to the point where I know how to do the work, I know how to work with people, I know how to teach beginner stuff, you know. I know how to, you know, I'm learning to sell jobs more, bigger numbers, making business, following up with people, you know, really being what you say you are. That's what I want to do a lot. And I want to expand that business side. We've gotten up, let's say, how much have we gotten up? So right now, I'm just trying to do the math. How much income percentage has increased this year? I want to say about 50%. probably over 50 to 60% of income increase. So that would be, on top of, so 50% on top of what was made. So I'm seeing improvements, I know I can go harder. I know I want to go harder. But yeah, that's what I do. I also, selling is important to me, but my I have other jobs and I work with other people, but my big focus is like really how do I talk so that when you see me, you know what you're getting. Like, I know that's the big thing right now, social media and everything. Like, there's a layer of like illusion that people can do, and I don't really want to do that. So, well, I mean, there's a strategic way to get attention. But there's an intention part to it, and overall long-term strategy. Like, can you keep up what you're saying you're gonna do for a long time? So you're the same person now as you will be in 50 years. It's the same thing. The time right now, this moment is just recurring. It just keeps going. So you're the same person. So you gotta be careful of what you say. I tell myself that all the time. But anyways, yeah, that's where I'm at in business. I want to do more cool stuff. Business, the name's RG Landscaping and Construction Incorporated. I'm not gonna lie, we weren't always incorporated, but we're learning. Definitely learning how to make things better. And yeah, that's just where my time is going mostly right now. Took a semester off because of everything, COVID. Hope everyone's staying safe. Definitely be careful coming this flu season. Just be very cautious, be smart, think long term. Caution isn't fear. Caution isn't weakness in character. Cautiousness is just being smart long term, like being okay with being perceived short term a certain way, but long term, you know what you're doing, But I also want to talk about psychology. So I'm reading right now a book called General Introduction to Psychoanalysis by Sigmund Freud. If you've ever taken a psychology course, I'm sure most people that have heard the term psychology or studied or learned something about psychology have heard the name Freud or Adler or Piaget, or I thought it was the biggest names. There's a lot, obviously, but I'm trying to focus on what got me into it was Carl Jung. He's very fancy. I've come to realize I still like his ideas, but I'm trying to follow the sequence that I've watched from other people, like other psychologists that I study. Where I get most of my information at the moment is this YouTube channel called Jung to Live By, and you guys can check it out. Very interesting. Probably some of the most golden psychological ideas in the internet right now. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Steve, one of the persons on the YouTube channel, recommends to follow this as a development, to develop your mind and your consciousness, to study Freud. It all goes like during time. Freud came first, and he got psychology to the point where he connected it with instincts. Your instincts, your drives, what controls them, what do they want, how do they behave. And then there's Alfred Adler, who then developed onto that afterwards. Socially, You got psychology, social, like to like the social aspects, and how people strive to. Talks a lot about like inferiority, superiority complexes, like why people strive for power, and I'm trying to think of certain terms. That's like once you go from instinct, you go to social, and then Carl Jung he recommends, Steve recommends to study almost last. I'm not saying you can't, but in terms of understanding, like if you try to understand the last one without understanding the first two layers, it's kind of hard. So Jung then goes on to like transcendent and interpersonal, so like almost like religious, and yeah, religious really. I feel like there's like a connection to that. Definitely, I think a lot of people can get it. You know, when people reference Carl Jung, they definitely reference him to that. But point is, I'm trying to start from the beginning. I'm trying to read books. I try to read, you know, when I can. But yeah, that book is very interesting, and I was following Carl Jung for some time, but I still am. I still know who he is. I have some context about him. Actually, that YouTube channel, Steve and Pauline, they're an older couple. They met his son. That just goes to show why I think that YouTube channel has some of the most golden ideas on the internet, in the world, up to this point. Check them out to improve yourself. But yeah, so I'm trying to take, you know, I'm trying to go kind of in stages. Just really like questioning my own, discovering things about my mind, the unconscious, what consciousness is. It's interesting to me, because then you can tie it to what you see around you and the people around you. I guess I could, you know, like that goes into like the election right now. Like, it's just crazy to me how like there's layers to things. Like there's layers to the personality. There's layers to the personality that some people aren't aware of, the layers of their own personality. For example, the mind usually consists of poles, like polarity, like South Pole, North Pole. Like your waking mind, your consciousness is one thing, and then your unconscious is the direct opposite. Like you have your conscious and it's the direct opposite, and that's like, it goes full circle. And you know, like with people, social media, I don't want to get political, but it's just interesting to me. It's interesting to me. It's just, I'm just trying to speak on ideas without really like any judgment to it. It's just observations. But it's like there's certain things that you see. It's like people say they're representing something, but they're unaware of the side of the personality that everybody has. You know, I don't think some people haven't discovered the fact that the human mind, the human psyche, has so many personalities to it. Not personalities, right? Like you can be in control, but some people aren't aware that they're not. That they're what's driving them. You know, at the very deepest layer, like. You know, you have to do very hard work to understand that. Like, yeah, we're working for money and all that, right? Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants what they don't have at the moment. And then you move on to, and then you get it, and then you move on to the next thing. Then you move on to the next thing. But do you ever just stop and look at yourself? Like, ask questions about yourself? Stop moving. You know, like, I'm not saying forever, you know, like, this is just like a way to explain, but like, look at yourself, like, what's in you? Like, why do you do what you do, you know? Where are you going? Why? Why? You know, I try to answer those questions for myself. I try. Where do you come from? What drives your parents? What drove your grandparents? So what drives you? So what do you need to be aware of? What do you need to be conscious of that runs in your genes? Your biology. Biology. You know, some people reject it. But anyways, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I mean, I'm gonna offend people, I guess, you know. I catch myself because it's like you can't avoid some things. But yeah, like the election is just crazy how much division there is. To me, that's crazy. To me, that's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting how, back to like how I was talking about what I'm learning in business, how do you like speak so that when you actually meet people in person, they're like, wow, that's really who you are, you know? Like, you know, like, why is that a thing? Why is that surprising? Why is that so hard? You know, like, not everybody can do that. I want to do that. I want to be like, look, I'm showing you. So then when you meet me, you already know how I think. And nothing comes out of surprise. Well, it's cool to be, I think it's cool to be surprising. I think people like surprises. But I'm talking about like, I don't know why I pay so much attention to like disappointments. Maybe. See, that's like, that for me, like I can stare at that and then get into it. But yeah, it's definitely go vote. Definitely go vote. I'm trying to vote. I'm gonna vote tomorrow. That's what me and my girlfriend Sharon, I have plans to go vote tomorrow. So I'll be doing that. Everybody should go vote if you haven't. If you can. If you can, you should use that opportunity. You should use that privilege. You should, you know, because not everybody can. It definitely does, you know, like the psychology of people right now is out of tune, it's out of whack in a way. But I don't know why. You know, both candidates I see good and bad. You know, it's just being real, like, you know. Trump is controversial. I said his name. But it's true, like, he's controversial, man. You gotta be careful. Like I said, I think there's good and bad in both candidates. That's just what I truly believe. And I'm the type of person that I don't want to do something just because somebody tells me. Like, I have to like really come to the conclusion myself that it's the best thing to do. I pay attention to that a lot. Like when I'm talking to people, like I can, you know, like I just feel it out. Like, yeah, you have a point here. Well, at least in my mind, that's how it works. Like I just like, but then if it doesn't apply to my life, and many times it does, but it doesn't at the same time. You kind of have to discard some information and really apply it to you. You have to make your own conclusions, not just take it, copy, paste. It's like receive, process, and output. Input, process, output. That's how I think about it. That's very deep. I think if you can apply that in anything, if you can have that sort of frame where it's like input, process, output, instead of just input, output, then you're just what you are, what's around you. You're never you know? You have to come to your own conclusions. You have to come to your own conclusions. Just thought I'd show where I'm at right now. You're down to come with me. You know, like, this is where I'm at. This is what you can get. Well, not what you can get. That sounds so like, I know. I mean, like, I like connecting. You know, how can I help you? What can we do together? How can we profit together? You know, like, it doesn't have to mean financially, but if it is, I think everybody wants to. But I'm talking about, how can we profit our relationship? How can we get results and then push it forward? How can we get more out of what we want? But beware of your intentions, you know? What are you gonna do with when you get what you want? What are you gonna do with it? Better be something good. Otherwise, if you do something bad, it's gonna come right back to you. So yeah. Again, happy Halloween. You reach out to me. If anyone ever needs anything, if anyone wants help thinking, some advice, extra opinion, extra ideas onto what they're working on, reach out to me. I'm gonna put some of my ways of getting to me in the bio or something, on the screen or something. But yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. Keep pushing, keep going. I know times are hard right now, but always try to place yourself, maintain your a positive mental space for yourself, because it's not easy, but at least that should be the aim, you know? So yeah, peace.